Chefpreuner Academy chicken breakdown. So we're breaking down the chicken. Pretty simple. Chicken has joints, just like you have joints. You have your elbows and your shoulders and your hips. We want to go between the joints. So the first thing we're going to do is make a quick slit right here, breaking the skin apart from the thigh, the rest of the body. We want to pop the thigh bone out like this, expose the thigh bone. We're going to cut around the thigh bone, like so. Comes right off. One thing you're going to notice while I'm doing this, I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure. Not a whole lot of digging and cutting and turning. I'm going to go right between the joints. This little white line right here is between the leg and the thigh. Easy cut. No pressure at all. I have created a leg and a thigh. Mathematically, I have created about $4.50 right here. This is a whole chicken price right here, 2 pieces. Continue to break down. Same thing on the opposite side. Break the skin away. Popping the thigh bone out. This bone right here is just right here for you, your hip bone, right? Cut around the bone. Comes right off. Again, exposing that white line right here. And there you have it. 4 pieces of chicken at $2.25 each. Where we at? Price point. How much? About $9, right? For 4 pieces of chicken. Now at $9, we've already purchased probably 2 chickens already. 2 whole chickens. We have created 16 pieces for the same price you would pay at a franchise, paying $17 for an 8-piece. Tricky part. We're going to remove the backbone. A couple different ways to do it. The way I was taught to do it. Stand the chicken up. Take your boning knife, go right down the spinal column in the back. A little bit of pressure. Break the spine off. Show you guys what I'm doing right here. And of course, this spinal column, we're going to save this to do our chicken broth with. Have your knife. That's the backbone. Anytime there's bone and meat attached, it's called a broth. When it's just bones, it's called a stock. So to make our chicken stock or chicken broth, we're going to introduce something we call a mirepoix. A mirepoix is onions, celery, and carrots. If we're going to do anything else, which is the Holy Trinity, which is mostly found in Cajun food, your New Orleans food, the Holy Trinity is celery, onions, and bell pepper. So those 6 components can make a stock taste just over the top, right? Put these over here for a second. 4 pieces. Now to remove the breast, a couple different ways to do it. We can go right down the middle right here, cut it in half, or we could do the culinary technique, which is removing the breastbone itself by making 2 small incisions right here. And this gristle comes right out. Like this. Remove the gristle. Right down the middle. Now you could have cut that, left this in and cut it right down the middle and did the same thing, just showing you different techniques of how to remove it. So this goes in our pile for our stock. This bone right here, we want to just slightly remove it off the breast. Turn your knife up towards the bone. The bone comes right off. Not to damage the chicken breast at all. My knife is turned up towards the bone. And there's your chicken breast right here, right? Now for our wing, the same thing we did with our thighs. Of course, we want to cut around the joints. So to get the wing off, wing is attached. Take our breastbone off the wing. Goes in our pile. Here's your wing. Chicken breast, skin on or skin off, it's a preference. Taking the skin off, skin goes in our pile for our stock. This is a chicken breast. Attached to the chicken breast, if you have children, chicken tenders. Right there. So you have a chicken breast, chicken tenders, leg, thigh, wing. Chicken breast, real quick. You can also do a technique that we call butterfly. Butterflying technique, take your hand, put it on top. That's a guide. You want to check, make sure to not going through the bottom part. Keep the knife even, straight across. At this point, you can stuff the chicken breast with spinach and cheese, which makes it a Florentine. You can do ham and cheese, makes it a cordon bleu. You can do mushroom and cheese, which makes it a Wellington. Wellington is mushrooms, Florentine is spinach, cordon bleu is cheese and ham, right? Chicken breast done. This one we're going to create something called an airline breast using a technique called Frenching. All I'm going to do is remove the split. What's better, splits or legs? Splits, or flats, they call them flats. All right, flat comes off. Left a little bit of bone attached right here. I'm going to go right around this bone piece right here, shaving off the meat. The technique is called Frenching. Frenching is just to expose the bone. You see it most of the time with rack of lamb. The fact that I'm Frenching this airline breast turns this, what was our price again? $3.75 whole chicken. One breast. I can sell this one breast after I French it and stuff it with some delicious, say sauteed shallots and spinach and cheese, and put some potatoes on the side for 35 cents. I can sell the whole plate right here for the same price as this right here. And in Chefpreuner, we're teaching you guys. We want you guys to understand the importance of food, how to take food at cost of $3.75 for a whole chicken and take one piece and sell it at $17. And that can be done. So our whole entire chicken we got right here. Let's finish cleaning that real quick. The Frenching technique. And just by understanding techniques and basic culinary fundamentals, you're able to elevate a piece of food, or manipulate rather, a piece of food to give you $17 for one piece. Now what I'm going to do very quick, I'm going to go ahead and season it with salt and pepper, flour. I'm going to sear it, pop it in the oven, bring it out, and plate it. Once it's plated with the pan sauce and everything, let's back up a little bit. We're going to sear this thing. I'm going to add more chicken broth to it. So I'm using the whole entire chicken to make one dish, right? $3.75 for a whole chicken, that's about 47 cents a piece. So this one piece of chicken is 47 cents. We're going to sear it, bake it, pull it out, and plate it. The plating technique is going to be crazy. So by plating this one piece of chicken at 47 cents, we're going to sell one piece of chicken for $17.99. As young chefpreneurs or entrepreneurs, you have to understand that you have the power to do this. You have the ability to buy something at cost, manipulate it, add your culinary technique to it, and sell one piece for 8 pieces at $17.99. Sounds cool? All right, so when we come back, that's what we're going to do. All right, so now we're back. We have, again, our final product. This is the chicken breast I took off the whole chicken. This is called an airline chicken breast. What makes it unique is I took part of the wing bone here and I Frenched it. Frenching is a technique when you remove all the meat and expose the bone. Keeping everything simple, we have kosher salt and black pepper. We're going to season our meat. Turn it over. Both sides well and seasoned. Again, this is just salt and pepper. We want to be sure to season our meat when it's raw and not at the dinner table. Once that's seasoned, I'm going to do something called dredging or songe. Songe is to rain in the flour, a little bit of flour. And what the flour is also going to do, it's going to help create that delicious sauce at the end. And I'm going to walk you through that, something called font. Now that our chicken is already seasoned, salt, pepper, and flour, we're going to begin with some clarified butter. Why use clarified butter? If you use regular whole butter, it has milk solids and water content in it. You don't get the best sear at all. Let our clarified butter melt. Another point I want to make also is always start with a hot pan. That's very important. As you see, as the butter went into the pan, it began to melt immediately. So now we're going to take our dredged chicken, dredge it through the flour. So the first technique I displayed was called songe. That means rain in the flour. Now I'm actually dredging the chicken through the flour right here. We're going to start with the display side down first. Hot pan. Make sure your heat is on medium high. Giving your chicken time to sear. A quick cheat technique is also, you could do something, you could put paprika on your chicken along with the flour that helps brown it off quicker. But for this purpose, we're just gonna go with the flour. What we're doing is gonna do a herb-based chicken. And the herbs we're gonna use is gonna be a little bit of rosemary and a little bit of thyme, fresh thyme. Fresh ingredients are very important. Quick peek. And be careful because butter has a very, very low smoke point. Not as low as, say, olive oil or grapeseed oil, but there's a low smoke point. As you can see right now, we have smoke coming up, but it's the best flavor. We want our chicken just to brown slightly. We're going to finish it off in the oven. So I'm going to check it periodically. Our pan was already nice and hot. After I sear the chicken off, I'm going to transfer it to another pan, finish it off in the oven. But first I want to show you how to baste and what basting is. That's about the color I want it right there. Nice and golden brown. I'm going to slide my chicken back to the back of the pan, reduce my heat. I'm going to add in my fresh herbs. That's rosemary and thyme. I'm going to toss in a piece of garlic also, just for that flavor. I'm going to slightly tilt my skillet at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to toss the warm butter on top of the rosemary. Get that garlic up there. Toss, toss. I'm going to put a little bit more butter in my pan. I started off with about a teaspoon of butter. Now about a tablespoon and a half of butter. Clarified butter, that is. Let that melt. And we're just going to do something called basting. As the butter continues to sit on the stove, it's also turned into what's called brown butter, which is also delicious. So as of right now, the only thing I've utilized is salt, pepper, flour, fresh herbs, and clarified butter. And just do a quick recap on this chicken. A whole chicken costs about $3.75 for a whole chicken. With that whole chicken, there's about 8 pieces in there, or exactly 8 pieces to a whole chicken. If you go to a franchise or a fast food restaurant, they'll run you about $17 for 8 pieces of chicken. What I'm showing you today is how to take one piece of chicken at $3.75 for a whole piece and make one piece turn into $17. All right, and the point of basting is to cover my entire chicken with the delicious clarified butter. It's also infusing the herb flavor into my chicken. So now that's it for basting. I'm going to transfer my chicken over to a new pan. Get it ready for the oven. Now with this pan right here, I'm going to keep this pan. These little tidbits at the bottom of the pan right here are called font. I'm going to take a little bit of flour, Sanjay, or rain in the flour. This, as some may know, is called roux, R-O-U-X, and the roux is equal parts fat and flour. A little bit more flour. What I want to happen is I want the flour taste to cook down, to cook out of it. Various sauces are made to different thickness, and it's called the viscosity. I'm making a real quick pan sauce for my chicken. As you guys remember a little bit earlier, we had those scraps from the chicken. This is the chicken broth from those scraps. Again, the chicken is 100% or 80% rather utilization, meaning we use the entire chicken. The leftover bones that we utilize for our chicken broth, we're going to take those bones and reboil those for an additional hours and make what's called demi-glace. Demi-glace is a process of the bone marrow coming out of the chicken and making the stock even thicker. How dark do you want your sauce depends on how long you let it cook. The longer you let it cook, the darker your sauce gets. So what I'm doing, I'm watching the color of my roux. I can keep it light or go darker at this point right here. At this point, I'm gonna season a little bit more with salt and pepper. just for flavor. And this is just flour and that delicious clarified butter. We're going to add in a little bit of our chicken stock. Once the stock is added, you see the thickening process happening. So at this point, we're going to allow our sauce to reduce. Turn it down on low heat. And while the sauce is reducing, we're going to go ahead and pop our chicken right in the oven. So we're going to put our chicken in the oven on about 350. Let that go for about 15-20 minutes. Set our timer. This oven is an industry oven. You have what's called convection, and you also have conventional oven. I turned the fan on low to simulate more of a conventional oven than a convection oven. Convection oven is high fan, high heat the whole time. I want chicken to go really low and slow, and I'm gonna let it cook for about 20 minutes, pull it out, and plate it. All right, so now that we're back, we have our chicken breast is out of the oven. We have our sauce, which is made with our delicious chicken broth. And just for kicks and giggles, I went and add a little bit of asparagus and tomatoes. So the total plate cost we're looking at right now is around $4.55 for the plate cost. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sauce our plate. And this sauce was made with our chicken broth that we got from our whole chicken. Take our airline chicken breast here. Right in the center. And let's add our veggies around it here. Let's scatter them a little bit, like so. Those in there. And we're going to add a little bit more sauce on top, just for the shine. And there you have it. This is a 87-cent piece of chicken converted into a $10 plate with no sides attached on it. So the key thing to remember is while you're buying chicken at $17 for an 8-piece, you also can purchase a whole chicken for $3 and convert it into something delicious. This is Chef Jay Ponder, Chefpreuner Academy. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to continue to support and follow. Thank you.